Hello everyone, my name is Caren Reborn, and kindly if you're seeing this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be analyzing books, more so novels, and even the plays and every kind of book, drama, prose. And if you see this video, kindly subscribe and you will enjoy. Okay, today I want to kick it off by analyzing the book called Dust by Yvonne Owuor. Yvonne Owuor is a Kenyan author, a woman of substance and a woman of a lot of intelligence. And I've come to love his work, and I would like this one to be my first book here in YouTube. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't miss a single video. You will enjoy it. Okay, Dust by Yvonne Owuor is a book that talks about our nation Kenya, and much of it you can see. It talks about the themes, a lot of stuff that is happening in our nation. For instance, the themes that are visible in the book are corruption, violence, and in violence you can see the police brutality. And then there is also disillusionment. There's also that corruption. The leaders are so corrupt. Like you can see, for instance, in the book, there's a lot of instances that you can see how corrupt the people are, and you can also relate it to our country, Kenya, and whatever it's happening in the government. And that's why I'm so inspired, because I'm a Kenyan. I love my nation so much that even if I see such books, I really love to read them because I want to know more and much about my country. So Yvonne Owuor, okay, choice of book really depends on number of pages and all that, and that's why I'm sure a lot of people fear reading this book because it's so huge. It looks like a Bible, by the way, but it needs an inner eye to see beyond the pages, beyond the cover and all that. It's a very nice book and a very beautiful book. And this book by Yvonne Owuor really inspires a lot, because you will know whatever you didn't know. You will get to learn lessons that you never knew, and it really inspires even youths, because there are a lot of things that happened in our nation, but we don't have a copy because our parents or even our elders have chosen the direction of keeping quiet and never to talk about them anymore. So Dust by Yvonne Owuor kicks off by foreshadowing. It talks about the life of Odidi, how Odidi dies and all that. Odidi is shot by the police, which shows the police brutality. It kicks off at that point. Yvonne Owuor first of all uses the style of foreshadowing first, and that's later in the book we come to know, oh, this is Odidi, this is how it ended, and now you come back to the beginning and you say, oh, this is really what happened thereafter. And so it's a book of my liking. I've loved the book, and because of the education that I get from it, and a lot of knowledge that I get from it. If I begin, whatever happens to Odidi works at the government. Then thereafter there was a scandal about irrigation, and Odidi didn't want even to be involved with the irrigation and the matter of electricity. Odidi decides that no, I'm not going to support this. I'm not for this. And because of that, that's why you find that Odidi now is now kicked off and leaves the job. After that, the car is taken, and even there's a officer that landed Odidi. Did land on Odidi with a gun, and now this gun is used against him. Like he's using the gun to steal from the government, and this is the reason that's leading Odidi to meet his death or demise. And now the vehicle that Odidi bought after working with the government is now taken away. Odidi has like just a different life. Odidi now stays with Justina, with they met as a prostitute. They met in a pub, and now Odidi stays with Justina because Odidi has nowhere to go and stay, because everything has been frozen. The account and all. Odidi just had to begin afresh, and even Odidi cries about going back home. Even at the point of death, he's speaking about his father. Oh, where is my daddy? Uganda. So Even during death, there's this officer called Alidida comes and touches the Odidi at the back and is like, Baba, Baba, are you here? Are you here? Now I'm going home. So it really shows that Odidi really wanted to go home, but he could not make it because he died before it. He died on the streets of Nairobi. The book really talks about the atrocities that happened, and even during the Mau Mau, you know, a lot of stuff happened. During the Mau Mau, people were killed, those that were against the government, and even after, the leaders that took after Mau Mau, they are the leaders that become so fierce and so harsh that the people that were working like Odidi in the government that were not capable of going with what they really wanted, really suffered in that governance. And you can see that during the time that all this stuff were happening, a lot of atrocities were committed and violence. The police could kill a lot of people, they could be killed. And you see that even after speaking about Udidi, we see that even Nyipir himself, about everything that happens, about everything that we are told from the writer, what happened really happened to Nyipir, because Nyipir took the oath of silence and was not ready to speak about anything at any point. So during the Mau Mau, people were killed, police could take people, they could be killed, and there's this grave digger called Warui who used to bury them. Warui's work was just to bury the dead, and to bury these people. And Warui could complain that, oh, the bodies are too many for one person to bury in just a night. You can imagine how many they were, and you can imagine why is it that during the night, that's when they were burying the people, because it really shows that these are an atrocity that we were committing. They're doing, they didn't want anyone to see them, anyone to speak about them, and that's was the main reason why they were giving people the oath. They were making people to take the oath of silence, because these atrocities, they never wanted anyone to speak about them. They wanted them to remain with them and never to be told to anyone. So the nation is full of blood because a lot of blood is shed. And even we look at the life of Nyipir. Nyipir is the father to Odidi. Let me mention the characters. We have Nyipir Oganda, that is the father to Moses Ebewesit Odidi, and the father to Arabel Ajeni. And then we have Akai, that is the mother to Odidi and Ajeni. Then we have Alidida, that is one of the officers, the government officials who were so corrupt and very much corrupt in the government. He was just a refugee when he came to Kenya, and then after some time we found that he's a leader at the police service. So you see how this corruption is. We see Hook Bolton. This is one of the characters that are really used. He's used in this book as a ghost at the end. You see that Ajeni and Odidi, during their time childhood, Ajeni could go into that cave, and inside the cave, Ajeni could realize that, oh, there is a barogo in the cave. There is something that there is a skeleton that doesn't have a face, that is not a name. And they named it Obarogo. And they could be scared at Wutugik, and their life at Wutugik was really different because most of the time the ghost could evade the home and the house. So they lived in fear, but the father really didn't want to share and to tell the children whatever happened in the family. So that's why in the book you find the silence really affected these children, because there's a lot they needed to know, but they didn't, because now whatever the father took that oath, he could not even share with the family anything because of the fear. It came to a point when Nyipir really complained that the flag of Kenya was slight some time back. I could carry the flag of Kenya, but now the flag is heavy. I cannot carry it anymore. This really means that these atrocities and the death of people and the blood that was shed in the nation was not atoned, and now it needs atonement, and this is making flag so heavy, because Nyipir can't talk about it. They can't help it, because if it can help it so that justice can be served, then the flag cannot be heavy anymore, and it could really rejoice at carrying the flag again. And again, you see Nyipir as a character in this book really talks about the whispers of this dead. It's really it's so loud than the protest. the whispers. Because most in this book we find that the languages that were used in Kenya were English, Kiswahili, memory, and silence. So Nyipir memorizes everything, not to talk about them. You cannot talk about them, because if you talk about them, the earth will kill you, or they will come after you and assassinate you. You remember the assassination of Tom Mboya. In this book of Yvonne Owuor clearly talks about it and says that Tom Mboya, after the assassination, it really affected them that loved Tom Mboya so much. For instance, Nyipir was a lover and a follower of Tom Mboya. Nyipir is one of the people that were really affected by the death of Tom Mboya. And in the book, you find that Nyipir really says that even the dead doesn't know how to keep secrets so well. And the secrets unveils even to the end of the story. And there is a character called Trader. Trader is trading in the secrets of people. He knows literally everything that is happening, everything that happened, but he's trading in the secrets. He sells the secrets. He sells the stories to people. And Isaiah Bolton is the son to Hugh Bolton. Isaiah comes to look for his father's whereabouts in Kenya, because after the separation of Caren and Hugh Bolton, Caren decided to go back to Europe, and Hugh Bolton was left in Kenya as a colonialist in Kenya. And now Caren, after getting married to a different man, which Isaiah was really not comfortable staying with as a father. He really wanted his father, and like you can see, he looks like his father according to the book and to the view that we are given. So he's someone after his father. So he decided, I'm going to look for my father. I'm not going to sit here. He decides, at one point they meet up with Odidi through emails. They talk, they chat. Odidi tells him everything, because Odidi even at one point got the picture of a kaima that was drawn by Hugh Bolton. Hugh Bolton was this person that really didn't have respect for men. If it comes to feminism, for women, I mean, like he could draw a kai naked. He could stand there and draw a kai, and having the pictures. At one point he could use a kai, and at some point we see that a kai got pregnant, and after that what did Hugh do? He decided to throw Akai back, and Akai had to go back to her people. And there, the father, the Maasai, they could not take Akai like Minjong, and they decided that Akai just need to come back to the husband to come for dowry, because they can't keep a kid without dowry, without even knowing the father. Then these children, after that moment, they come and die on the way as Akai comes back. On coming back, Hugh became so harsh and decided that he's going to kill Akai. And in the process, Nyipir saves Akai and kills Hugh in return. And now that's the ghost that is now haunting these children, haunting the Wathogic family, and they don't live in peace for the rest of their lives until Nyipir asks that what really endures. There is nothing that endures, because after all this, after acquiring all this, because after the death of Hugh, he gets the house for himself. He receives the house. He lives in the house, never to accept to turn back there, because he decides even to begin a business of cattle smuggling, and he's here doing the business. And now Akai remains together with him, but the ghost now haunts the family. They are haunted with the ghost. And what really happens in the family, the children live in fear. No one to tell them what it really means, because silence, the oath of silence. And remember, I told you in the beginning that languages that were in Kenya were memory, silence, Kiswahili, and English. And it's still the same even up to the moment. If you can relate the book to whatever is happening, Yvonne Owuor really talks about whatever is happening in the nation at in the moment. And you can see that the book is so updated. It even talks about the 2007 election, post-election violence, talks about the Mau Mau, the assassination of Tom Mboya, and a lot that the massacre and atrocity that were happening in the country. And the life of Odidi, really, there's a point that Odidi meets Warui, the grave digger. After meeting the Warui, the grave digger, remember who was complaining about the bodies to be buried being too many for him to bury in just a night. So Nyipir meets this person. Nyipir complains that from a sack, that is the gunia, the book call it gunia, that was given with bodies. You bury the bodies that has now faces, they have no names, you cannot see them, they just inside a gunia. So they were given, and then some liquid leaked from the gunia to the hands. And Nyipir really, and she was really shocked, but you can't talk about, remember, you can't talk about it, you are to leave it at that point. And Nyipir now gets to a point that Nyipir wants to be promoted to a better job. He felt that now he's a loyal person, he's a Nan-Kikuyu. They really wanted a Nan-Kikuyu boy who is so loyal. And Nyipir was fit for this because Nyipir was from Nyanza. And Nyipir now goes and joins them in this job, in their work. Guess what the job was? Retrieving dead bodies from the hut. These bodies were killed by these officials, and then you now go there to retrieve the bodies. On reaching there, Nyipir really convulsed and collapsed there because he was so scared. He thought that he was going for a better job, but what he gets in return is really pathetic. It's really so unclean, and Nyipir really didn't expect this. And what is done to Nyipir really shocked, because now the Afande, the police, now kicks him and pours cold water until Nyipir comes back. Then, immediately after that, Nyipir is transferred and given the job at Hugh Bolton. Remember, Hugh Bolton was one of the officials in the government, very corrupt, and because of the corruption, they decide that instead of firing him, they take him to northern part of Kenya, that is in Turkana, where from there he's going to maybe resign at his will, but away from the town where his character and everything can be noticed, away from the city. And now that's where they go together with Nyipir, and there they find Akaima, who later becomes the wife to Nyipir. Ajeni, on the other hand, really lives to love. From the beginning, he loved the brother, that's Odidi, and even the death of Odidi really shocked him because he was outside doing education outside Kenya, doing his artistic work, and then he's called back that his only brother and someone that was like a parent to him, protected him with all the security, he's now dead. He was lost and they came back. Now, the secrets begin to unveil when Nyipir really has to go and take Hugh Bolton, even after Isaiah getting to Wothogik looking for the father, Isaiah Bolton. Now Nyipir has to take off the ghost, the Obarogo, from the cave to bury the ghost. After taking the ghost to bury the ghost, that's when all the drama begins. Akaima leaves and then comes back only later because he could not take it, burying the only son because of the government. Whatever, the government has killed their only son, and as a parent it really hurts and you can't even take it. He decides to leave. He left, and now Ajeni Arabel is left with Odidi and Nyipir the father. They are left. After that, we see that really there's nothing that really endures. Even the camel and everything that he had, Akaima takes them off. He goes with everything. Who is left in the home? Nyipir, Isaiah, and Ajeni. They also decided to leave even after some things, and someone that they really thought that was everything to them, the security and everything, that is Odidi. Odidi is now dead. The only son to the family is now gone. Now what is left? What really endures? And at one point, Nyipir complains and says that really, Oganda Odong no. Oganda is left with nothing. That is, Oganda is left with nothing. That is Nyipir. You see in the book. And this book, that's why it came to my liking after reading it, because the book really talks about these atrocities specifically, and it uses almost like every character to narrate the story differently according to them. Justina, who is now carrying the Odidi Jr., and a lot of stuff, because you will come to wonder, how did Odidi even meet to the Justina, the prostitute? And Odidi was a very good person. And even in school, Odidi is seen as someone who is awesome in athletes and everything, and is also known as the swifter the winger. And you can see that in the book if you have read it, and if not, it's there in the book. The book, Yvonne Owuor is a writer who not really hides a lot, but is ready to talk about the nation without covering up anything. And in this book, you see everything is so transparent in his writing that he doesn't even sugarcoat everything. And it came to my liking. And if you've not read that book, it's a very nice book and you will enjoy it. Thank you for your time. Have a nice evening, and kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos, and you will love them. Thank you. Like, view, leave a comment below, and even share. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.